Hello Gooners and Goonerettes and all other football fans watching. Today is my Arsenal Weekly where I talk about 5 topics. Today's 5 topics I'll be talking about Arsenal versus Bournemouth, Dio's situation, the young kids, is Emery still the right man if we get top 4, and my player of the week. Stay tuned to find out who they are.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
So it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. I know a lot of people criticise and saying it was a boring game, but at the end of the day, 1-0 to the Arsenal, 10-0 to the Arsenal, it doesn't make a difference. It's still 3 points. Get the win, that's all that matters. We're looking at getting back into the Champions League football. Not every game's going to be good. Not every game's going to be electrifying, this and that. We're going to ping. You're going to get games like this during the season. We've got to face the facts that we're still in transition. Players still need to come back. So let's look at the sort of positives. As 3 points is what we got yesterday. And that was the main thing. Getting ourselves back into that Champions League. So going into that game, when you look at it, Arsenal, high intensity from the front, playing from the back, but a mixture of playing from the back. When it was kind of like pressure put on them, they would go long. And that's what I liked. That's what we should have been doing all season so far. But lucky enough, Bournemouth did press us from the front, but we played it long, and sometimes it did work. Sometimes it did fall to an Arsenal player. Sometimes it fell to a Bournemouth player. But at the end of the day, we didn't concede a goal. But going into that first half, the first chance came from Aubameyang, where he cuts back in and he just goes wide. That sort of Henry style kind of like shot. But lucky enough, or unlucky enough I should say, it just goes wide. Then we look at the goal. Now people are criticising Pepe for his quality, his finishing and stuff like that. But you look at the corner, it was an absolute great corner. Precision corner. David Luiz loses his man on Callum Wilson. And then Arsenal put themselves 1-0 up. And we can't be complaining. At the end of the day, we're 1-0 up and we're starting off well. Then Pepe has a half chance where he does the same thing as Aubameyang, cuts back and just puts it wide himself. Arsenal were creating chances in the first half, and believe me or not, Arsenal should have had a penalty in that first half. I know it's gone to VAR and VAR didn't overturn the referee's decision, but to me, and sometimes I listened to the commentator as well, and he believed it was a penalty. Yes, he wins the ball, but sometimes players win the ball and they get sent off because of that movement after the ball. He wins the ball, it bounces back off, and Pepe is going forward, and it bounces back off Pepe, and the ball's still going in that motion of Pepe, and he brings Pepe down. To me, that's a penalty, but at the end of the day, VAR didn't give it, so we have to kind of take it on the chin, and we're winning the game at 1-0 at half time. Now, the second half was completely different. We let Bournemouth come on to us. I don't know why we did that, because at the end of the day, we're at the Emirates. We should be kind of like, what do they call us? Something track bullies or something like that in the Premier League or the Europa Leagues, that we beat these smaller teams. So why aren't we doing these against the teams like Bournemouth? But you know what? Like I said to you before, no team in the Premier League is easy anymore. You look at the results coming from Wolves yesterday, Newcastle yesterday. So at the end of the day, no game's easy. So maybe that there was a bit cagey in the second half. But they let Bournemouth kind of come on to him in the second half. And then you look at Callum Wilson when he went through the players. No one wanted to touch him. And lucky enough, when he went around the goalkeeper, he didn't shoot. He tried to cross it and we clear it away. And then sort of like again after that, lucky enough to sort of like Lerma's half chances and stuff like that. And then we kind of like look at, there's another one where it comes from, is it Stacey, where I don't know what Kolasinac is sort of doing. He's kind of like, should have just played it out, even if it goes out for a corner, but he decides to leave it, and Stacey kind of has a chance and Leno has to put it over the bar. But like I say, we kind of like didn't really have much creativity going forward, and I know a lot of people kind of saying they want certain players to come back, but I believe when Joe Willock come on, he was still driving at the defence. He was kind of like holding that ball, drawing plays. That's what Joe Willock does. And you know what, sometimes I look at Joe Willock and kind of go, look, this is his sort of time to step up. Danny Ceballos had a great game yesterday. Callum Chambers had a great game yesterday. Players had great games. Was that Arsenal sort of like didn't sort of, when they kind of went 1-0 up, they didn't really kind of go for it afterwards. And Bournemouth had chances at the end. I didn't really see much coming from the threat. There wasn't really many kind of like clear-cut chances. Maybe that one where it comes across the box and Lucky enough, Guendouzi kind of clears it before Josh King can put it in. That's sort of still half chances. Bournemouth had half chances. And like I say, maybe that Callum Wilson one where he dived through the kind of players and went around the goalkeeper was probably the main threat, really. So there wasn't really much coming from Bournemouth. And at the end of the day, like I said to you before, we're looking at these sort of games. Not every game in the season is going to be one of them ones where we're going to run away with games, or it's going to be easy like the game against Standard Liège. Nothing's going to be easy this season. There's no game easy in the Premier League. So, like I said, we pulled ourselves like where it's Bournemouth. They're sort of still getting results. I think the only teams they haven't beaten away from home is the likes of Arsenal and Man City. So it's not a Bournemouth side where you kind of look to roll them over. You know what I mean? So looking at this game yesterday, I'm pleased with it. I know people might say it's boring, but you know what? 3 points. Why is everyone complaining? It's 3 points. Where are we looking to get into the season? We're looking to get back into Champions League. And where are we now? 3rd. 1 point behind Man City. Liverpool have gone on an absolute amazing run. So stop complaining. We're 1 point behind Man City. We're in 3rd position. We're going into the international break now. Stop all the negative comments, all that sort of stuff. Forget about it. We are 3rd in the Premier League. We got 3 points yesterday. Come on, Arsenal. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. So we got 3rd. I'm happy about it. It wasn't the greatest game, but I'm happy about it. But we'll move on. Second topic, Ozil. Now, a lot of people are saying about Ozil should be on the bench. He's on £350,000 a week, or whatever, how much money he is on. I don't know how much money he is on. I don't really care how much money he is on. I follow Arsenal Football Club. His wages don't mean anything to me. I ain't getting them. I ain't paying them. So why should we care about his wages? People say, oh, but he's a creative player. He had 2 assists last year with the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette playing in front of him. So people are saying, but you need to play him on the bench. Why does he deserve a place on the bench when players like Saka are coming through, Joe Willock's coming through, Nelson's coming through, different sort of type of players to Ozil? I know that. Danny Ceballos is doing it. So people need to stop saying about Ozil this, because at the end of the day, we got players in that team. Competition's healthy. If Emery doesn't really see it in his plans, so be it. We're winning games. We've only lost 1 game this season. That was away to Liverpool. So have we really missed him? Yes, we're not playing great. We haven't really been playing great in the season. But have we really missed Ozil? To me, no. I don't mean we've missed Ozil. So when players kind of say, or people, fans say, he should at least be on the bench. Don't get me wrong, I did say it in my post before, it's wrong what Emery's doing. But now that I've kind of like thought about it, and I thought to myself, actually, 1 minute. Does he deserve a place on the bench? Players are stepped up. Young players are stepped up. 18-year-olds are stepped up. Does he deserve a place? Do you just give a person a place on the bench and take someone that's fighting in training because he's on £350,000 a week? Do you say, look, sorry mate, you've been doing so good in training, but I have to put Ozil on the bench ahead of you? No. If he doesn't deserve a place on the bench, that's Emery's call. And that's what we've got to go with. So like I say, I want to hear other people's opinions on this, of the Ozil situation, because I know a lot of people are saying he needs to be on the bench. We're missing creativity. I don't think we're missing creativity. I just think we're too negative with sort of the formation and sometimes the free holding midfielders. If you got a strike force of whatever we got, Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe, and even Martinelli when he plays, but you have free holding midfielders behind them, no one's going to create anything. Danny Ceballos can create players, but he sometimes plays too far back. Danny Ceballos is not a kind of like a cam player. Emery's playing him as that sort of Santi Cazorla sort of player, where he's playing further back, where he has more time to feed players in, but he's not going to get you them assists like here, there, all them sort of games. So like I say, your opinion matters as well. So I want to hear what you say about the Ozil situation, because to me, I don't think, I'm not going to go against what Emery's saying. I don't think it's one of them sort of cases you have to put him on the bench because it's Ozil, it's £350,000 player. No, if players are doing better in training, they deserve a place on the bench. Because I'd be absolutely gutted if it was me, if I was putting all my effort into everything I was doing to try and get into the Arsenal team, and then someone who's been there for like 5-6 years, who's on so much money, he has to be in front of me. No, it doesn't work like that. Players who have stepped up, fair play to them. Like I say, what is your situation on the Ozil? But we'll move on from the Ozil situation. I want to talk about these young kids. And I'm going to talk about Saka, Martinelli, and I'm going to talk about Joe Willock. Because them three players have absolutely been outstanding this year. Outstanding. We talk about Saka, 18 years of age. He doesn't just play the ball simple. Look at the game against Bournemouth. Look at the game against Manchester United. Premier League games. And he is literally not afraid to run at players. Anyone can have a pass ratio when they play the simple pass. So his pass ratio might not be as good as people might say, oh yeah. He runs at players. And if he loses the ball, he doesn't just think to himself, I've lost the ball. He tracks back. He is an Arsenal player. He's an absolute Arsenal player, one that we want to see. Enjoy it. Enjoy these young kids coming through, because I'm absolutely enjoying it. I'm loving seeing these young kids coming through. Saka is an absolute inspiration for young kids that want to get into an Arsenal team. You fight hard enough for it, you will get to where you want to be. And Saka's proving it at the moment, 18 years of age. He's going to need a rest sometime during the season because he's not going to be able to have it all his way during the season. But you know what? What he's doing at the moment, I'm enjoying it. You move on to Martinelli. Didn't play too much of yesterday. He had half chance. Again, kind of like he cut back and he put the ball over to the box against Bournemouth. Or over the bar against Bournemouth. So you're looking at Martinelli. 2 goals, standard age. 2 goals, Nottingham Forest. He done it in pre-season. He was scoring goals in pre-season. 6 million? £6 million. Now I know when he first came along, me including myself, people were like, who the hell is this guy? But trust me, people are starting to recognise who Martinelli is. And this is what I'm loving. Another 18-year-old. Coming from South America. Not the greatest league over there. Not high where like it's highly recommended. But he's come over here. He could have let the occasion get to him when he said, I sat down and Bamian came over to me. Now he could have went, oh, all these big players around me. He's enjoying it. He's looking like a player. And player that wants to play for Arsenal Football Club. Not a player that just wants to be there and progress their career and then move somewhere else. He looks like he wants to be an Arsenal player. He's enjoying it. You see a smile on his face as well. And that's what I'm loving with Martinelli. What he's doing at the club. And we move on to the last one, Joe Willock. And Joe Willock is impressing me every single week. He's impressing me every single week. And he, again, took it from the pre-season. He took it from pre-season into this season. Playing against Bournemouth yesterday. Coming on, like I said to you, he changed the game in the middle as well. Running that player. And I like what he does. He draws players to him. He's that sort of player where, remember when Jack Wilshere was on the ball? You're like, release it, release it, release it. And he released it last minute. And that's where he used to pick up his niggles. That's why I say with Joe Willock, sometimes just release the ball a little bit quicker. Just a little bit. Even if it has to be a fraction. Because sometimes he draws, and then he might lose it, but he's still drawing players. So if you're drawing players, you're creating more space for other players out wide or in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So he's doing what he needs to do, and he's come through the ranks as a kid. And this is what I'm loving as well. This is what I'm saying about the other topic. Why should we have a player who's been there 6 years when you've got players like Joe Willock, who's been there since a kid, progressing every single season. Every year he's progressing. And that's what I like about these youngsters coming through. So like I say about these youngsters, the likes of Saka, Martinelli and Joe Willock, which are your sort of standout player out of them three so far for Arsenal this season? We move on to the fourth topic, and that fourth topic will be, will Emery, or do you think Emery will still be in the job even if we get top four? Now the reason why I say that is because I've been watching Arsenal Fan TV and they come up with a few people saying that they don't want him in even if we get top four. I said it myself. I believe he's sort of negative, sort of like tactics. Because if you look at the sort of games where I'm going to go about, when we played Man United, he had the three holding midfielders with three in front of them. No creativity. Man United, sort of in decline. Tottenham, same situation. At home, three ahead, three defensive midfielders. Why are we playing a 4-3-3 with three defensive midfielders? Because where's the creativity going to come from that? Liverpool changed it. Diamond. So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm thinking to myself, is it one of them sort of situations where I look at sort of Emery, and do I believe that even if he gets us back in the top four, do I want him as a manager? I would not want him. But going forward, I always said before, I think we'll stay there. And we'll be that one sort of team where maybe your Chelsea's at the moment. We're not going to say Tottenham, because you know why? They're in decline at the moment. But where they were last year, we might get to that sort of level. And that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to get to that sort of level. Because Tottenham haven't won nothing for years. I don't want to get to just that sort of level. I want to get back up to where Liverpool and Man City are. And I don't think, even if Emery gets back in the top four, he will push us on to get in back to that level. I think the new manager has to come in. There is managers available as well. But this is what I'm trying to say. This is why I want to ask people as well, because I don't want to be the only one sort of being a critic, because I'm not hearing it from just me. It's not me just sitting on here going, Emery this, Emery that. I'm hearing it from other people as well. People are saying it. So I'm kind of glad in a way it's not just me, because I don't want people to think, oh yeah, he's a negative fan. I'm 100% not a negative fan. I'm a dedicated fan. 100%. And I say I'll get behind my team no matter what. I'll get behind Emery, but no matter what. Like I said, even with the sort of like the situation with the captain, now I've dealt with it, I'm getting behind the team no matter what. It's already done now. It's already done. It's finished. People need to stop bringing it up. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say with that, the Emery situation, is that from hearing what other people are saying, including myself, do you still think, even if we get top four, he will still be there? Or do you think he should still be there if we get top four? So we move on to our final topic, and that final topic is always my player of the week. Now my players of the week have to be, starting off with, Martinelli. And the reason why I say that is because that performance in the Europa League against Standard Liège, and people might say, oh, it's just Standard Liège, man, it's just Standard Liège. You can only play who's put in front of you. You can only play who's put in front of you. And you got to remember, it might only be Standard Liège, but he's come from only South America, where nobody knew about him. So he just showing already that his quality is better than where he's come from. His quality is better than the likes of Standard Liège. So 6 million? Because people have to buy £70 million players. And they go, oh, yeah, but you've only played Standard Liège. This is a £6 million player that no one knew about when we signed him. Most Arsenal fans didn't know about him when we signed him. So when I go about Martinelli and them 2 goals and the assist in Europa League, and like what I liked about him that day as well is that even when he missed that chance, an 18-year-old missing that chance where it come across the box and he put it just wide, he missed that chance. He didn't let it get to him. He ran himself to the ground again and he got himself an assist. So he's number 1 on my player of the week. Then we'll move on to the next player of the week, and that's Joe Willock. And the reason why I say Joe Willock is what he does. I've said it already, what he does. Joe Willock does what he does. And he is an absolute, you know what, an honour to wear that badge, because he's showing other players what it is, what Arsenal are about, what we are about. He's saying, look, this is what it's all about. It's about the badge. I'm not wearing a shirt now, but it's about the badge, and that badge goes over your heart. And that's what it's all about with Joe Willock. He's outstanding. Changed the game a little bit when he came on Bournemouth. It wasn't the greatest game anyway in the second half, but when he came on, he still kind of opened it up. Him against Stanley Age as well. Ran riot. I don't care about if it's just Stanley Age. I don't care about that. I'm caring about these young kids coming through, and you know what? They're doing the job so far. And that's my number 2 on the list. And then Callum Chambers. Start the season. You look at Callum Chambers. I know this is player of the week, but I'm just going to go back. Start the season. Newcastle played absolutely amazing. Got dropped because we signed players. But the reason why I'm putting Callum Chambers in my player of the week is because that outstanding performance against Bournemouth. You look at it. He's fighting. Absolutely fighting for a place. He's playing in a position where we know that when Bellerin comes back into full fitness, he's coming out of it. But we know that he can play centre. So you imagine him holding Bellerin, Tierney, all at the back. Chambers is an absolute fighter. Now, you know what? Fair play to him. Because when he came from Fulham, when they went down last year, when we put him on loan, he could have had his head down. But you know what he said? You know what? I'm going to prove people wrong. I'm not a relegating player. I'm not a player that's got my team relegated when I played for Fulham. No, he's coming in. He's stronger. 100% stronger. And you can see he's stronger. And everyone can see he's stronger. This is what I'm liking about Callum Chambers. So fair play to him. Putting in the effort. Doing a job. And Callum Chambers is number 3 on my list. So there you go. That's my Arsenal Weekly, where I always speak about 5 topics. I want to hear what your opinion is as well. So get your comments in. Always like to see what everyone else's opinion is. I like to see everyone's opinion. So get them in. Just type whatever you want. Talk about one topic. Talk about all the 5 topics. Whatever you do, just talk about Arsenal. Like I say already again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. One click away.